You talk about not right. And look, Pistons fan, Laker fan, there is no team I hate more than the Boston Celtics. I grew up, a young kid in the 80s, hated this team more than anything. And this ain't right. But this team is hot as can be right now. And I hate every minute of it. But this team was 23-24 on January 21st, Ryan. They are 23-4 since. This team making its way up the charts in the Eastern Conference. Looks like they might have the best starting five in basketball right now between Tatum, Brown, Robert Williams, Smart, and Horford. Looks like Smart has really found his spot in this team because this is a guy who is, even in Boston, there was, you love the effort, you love the defense, but this man would shoot you out of games in the past. And this year, being really the starting point guard for them, averaging about 6 assists, came off a game last night where they dominated the Utah Jazz, and he dished out 13 assists in the process. This team, don't be sleeping on the Boston Celtics, Ryan, because they might be the team that represents the East when it's all said and done.
They absolutely could be. It's because they have kind of that old school mentality of team building, right? Where if we lose in the playoffs, we're not going to go out and swing a big trade and bring in Kevin Love or something along those lines. Like Tatum, Brown, and Smart, they've probably been together like at least 5 years now. Like these are guys who grew up together. They all started their careers on the Celtics. They grew up. They were rookies together. They went through those bumps. They went through some highs. They got to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals and, lost to LeBron James and Cleveland. And their team has played together a lot. And Tatum's emerging to be really one of the best players in the NBA. He's probably been like a top 10 player this year, right behind Kyle Kuzma. Jaylen Brown is the perfect number 2 and the perfect complement to what Jason Tatum does. And then Marcus Smart does everything else that those guys don't want to do, except I don't even know if it's that they don't necessarily want to do it, because Tatum and Brown, they can both defend. They can both get a little bit, I don't want to say dirty, but they can get, down. They can dive for the loose balls. Mm-hmm. And I think it might be a little bit of a shame. And I don't want to, I think Ito Adukwe is, I don't know how to pronounce the coach's name. I'm sorry. Coach has done a fantastic job, but I think it's a trickle-down effect from when Brad Stevens was coaching these guys, because it should essentially be right, like the same team, the same offense. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe they just finally emerged and they see an opportunity. There's a lot of good teams in the East, but Boston is clearly the team that's been together for the longest, and they should have the strongest team chemistry. And they're not just beating teams, they are straight up annihilating them.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about their last so many wins against the Kings, the Nuggets, the Thunder, and the Jazz. Average margin of victory, 21.5 points, and it still wasn't even that close in a lot of these games. And, right. What you said is very true about how long this team has been together. And for a lot of this time that they've been together, there's been the question of, can Brown and Tatum play together? And you got to get rid of one of these guys. You can't have these two stars. It's not working, blah, blah, blah. Good thing they didn't, because it's working real well right now.